My name is James. I'm 32. I'm the owner of Bread Apparel. We make clothes, we make boards, and we try to do what we can for the public. This is the neighborhood that I come from. So there wasn't too much to give, but I was always finding myself giving whatever I could, even if I had it or not. So people were like, dude, when people are with you, people always eat. You don't ever let anybody not have anything. And I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty true. On my Instagram, I always had like a little bread in my bio. So one of my best friends, we were just kind of sitting on a couch like this one day. And he's like, dude, you've always had that little bread. Like, he's like, you know how cool it would be on a shirt? And I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of, I don't know. He's like, no, it'd be cool. And I was like, well, maybe we can do something one day. That was like the beginning for me. It was like, dude, let's make this escape brand for like kids who don't have as much, and then help them out as much as we can. And then we'll go from there.
All right, so right here at Eastwood, this is basically the skate park that me and my friends, we had a petition that we had signed. We took it to our high school and a bunch of our local friends. Try to get like as many people as we could to sign off on this big note sheet we made. And it ended up going really, really well. Like, we didn't expect it to do as good as it did. Whenever we finally turned it in, we were walking home from school one day and they were already making it. So I kind of got it together with friends, and then like we would skate, and there wasn't much coming from it. So whenever we started doing, when we got older and we started having money and stuff, that's when I decided to make bread. Like, cause like coming up from here, there was never really nothing. We always had to make something. So I felt like I wanted to give something back. So we decided to come to the park and like pick out a few kids, take them to California and see what we can make. Like as far as like something local that has like real love to it. So like the making of this really sparked in my mind that if we could get the city to do something like this, then I could do pretty much anything we wanted to do. My honest opinion, from being a kid to being here now, it changed pretty much the whole way the park looks and the way everything is. Because after they did that, they redid the playground. They made the playground better. And then now they have the metro rail, so you can come directly here. When I was growing up, you had to walk. You had to figure everything out. Now everything just seems more modern, and it just seems a whole lot more like friendlier and safer. It's pretty cool.
I can't put an exact date on it, but I was skating and we were filming to like make a video, and I messed up my knee. And like when I messed up my knee, I didn't do absolutely nothing. Like I was stuck at home. So when I was stuck at home, I had a friend come over. His name's Ricardo, and he brought a fingerboard. It was like a P-Rep or something. And I was like, dude, what's that? It's like big, let me see that. And he gave it to me. He's like, dude, you can have it. He's like, trust me, it's not that expensive. I was like, are you sure? Because it just looked crazy. So like I started using it, and I was like, seriously, I was addicted. Then he had like he had the Black River ramp with like the brick thing. I was like, dude, you gotta let me borrow that thing. I felt like such a kid, and I was like mad older. So I was just like, dude, you gotta let me borrow that stuff. And then he was like, look, check these people out. And it was like you and Jeremy and a bunch of other people. And I was like, dude, what? I was like, what's going on? I was like, I've never seen this.
No, I met New probably like a year and some change ago. Through a mutual friend that we have. Corona. I don't know where he's at, but he's the one who got me into fingerboard. I had met him through another homie we have. We were just chilling one day and they busted out a fingerboard. It's like one of those things you just see people doing, and then eventually you're like, man, let me see it. And before you know it, you're sitting back and forth, you're just making a bunch of noise. Once you get more into it, it's kind of like one of those things you pick up. Like some people write, some people paint, you know what I'm saying? Fingerboard just happens to be one of those things I do now. Just pulling up to the shop every day and chilling with New. It just got cooler and cooler. When you're younger, you got so many people around you, but the older you get, there's not that many people around. So then you meet somebody who's like, really has like a big heart, you know what I mean? And you can see it from him helping out everybody and everybody kind of clinging to him. Because everybody fucks with the good energy, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you see like a lot of people like come around New, because they feel that too, you know what I mean?
Because right when I opened the shop is whenever you had the rendezvous. I don't know which number it was. It wasn't the last one, it was the one before that.
8 probably.
Yeah.
Texas Rendezvous 8 is coming up. Texas Fingerboard Rendezvous 8. So the Texas Fingerboard Rendezvous 8. Today I'm at the Texas Rendezvous 8. It's an event that I host every year. Basically what the Rendezvous is, if you're unfamiliar, is a fingerboard event that kids and people of all ages really come from all over the state and different states as well to meet up and meet different people that fingerboard, as well as buy products, win things in the raffle, have some pizza. I'm gonna show you guys around and show you what's happening.
And so I went to check that out, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, there's people here, obviously. And that's when I met the Dallas guys, like all of them. And they were like the first ones that were open to me. And like from day one, they were supporting everything.
My name is Benny Salazar, founder of GOODVIBESFB, from Fort Worth, Texas. Started fingerboarding a couple of years ago. In a little shop that we had. It was actually an RC drift shop. A couple of guys ended up getting some fingerboards, which ended up bringing back a couple of guys who fingerboarded in high school. So they picked up their fingerboards, and it started off with a real small table with like 3 guys. And next thing you know, there was 15, 20 people there showing up constantly every week. We have a group of people, we have a core group of people that I say actually are like the backbone of Good Vibes. Gio, the owner of Gone Fingerboards, Maxie, Doug, Anthony, Christian, and there's a few other names. And then all the Gone team.
I met Benny at a friend's house. He was kind of inviting us over to kind of fingerboard at first, and then he had a kid, so we couldn't go there anymore. Benny had an RC track, or well, he was running an RC track at the time, and they put up a table. I had a pretty small part of it. I just happened to have a mold that I actually was trying to sell at the time. And one of the guys that I offered it to, he was like, dude, I don't want to buy it, but if you have a mold, you might as well just use it. And Benny saw that I had the mold, and he started pushing me to do it, and that's pretty much how Gone came about. It was because Benny and a couple other friends were like, dude, just make boards, and Benny's always had good vibes, so he kept that going, and I believe it used to be an RC thing, actually. When we first met, it was like Good Vibes RC, and he slowly started turning into fingerboarding, and then now it's just Good Vibes fingerboarding.
My name is Douglas, and my Instagram is douglas.fingerboards. And I got into fingerboarding because whenever I was like in elementary school, it was kind of like that was the thing that was in, and so I kind of got really good at it and got into it then. And then whenever I was in like 8th grade, my friend got his first wooden like P-rep, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And so I had to get one, and I just haven't stopped since then. So it's been like 4 or 5 years, and it's really cool to see like an actual community that's coming up.
Hold on. All right, my name is Max, Max CFP with 2 eyes. The reason I started fingerboarding was because I was in middle school. I just started skating, and I was in art class, and I think I saw a lot of people using tech decks, so it got me into it a lot. One person had a wooden one, and I thought that it was really cool. So, and I didn't know that people fingerboarded in Dallas till like May.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I
it's
just
crazy
met
once you figure it out. Like it's
I met them in May, and then June we came out here. Like I've never been to a fingerboard park. It was like crazy. So yeah, it's definitely crazy seeing a lot of people fingerboard. Because I went on till I was 18 and saw nobody.
Like literally had no idea. I literally found out because of Benny. He was at the Louisville skate, like my local skate park, and I saw he had like a fingerboard keychain. And at the time, I thought it was maybe 1 out of like 3 people in the whole entire city of Dallas that like actually fingerboard. And so like he introduced me to the whole community. It's like really crazy to see how many people actually fingerboard.
So we were originally located, like I said, inside of an RC drift shop. When I realized what it was doing for the community, just having a small table, we were getting younger kids. Every week they were growing and growing. We realized that they had a spot to be themselves, for lack of better words, you know. It's at the end of the day, it's toys, but whenever you're with like-minded people, it goes beyond that. It's just like skateboarding, you know. No one judges, no one does nothing. We're all doing the same thing. We're all like-minded folks. Which is the reason why we decided to keep pushing it. Even when we had to close our doors, we were lucky enough to get a real skate shop to hold one of our plazas and carry some of our products. And after we closed the doors to our shop, all the messages and the DMs and people I was seeing at the park that were telling me, man, I'm really bummed that you guys have to close. This is what we had to look forward to on Friday. And you know, me and my friends love going there and yada yada. We realized that it actually made some kind of impact. I was like, we need to stay on it just for the local scene. You know, if it grows into something bigger, even cooler. But just to be part of this is good enough. The first time we met New was at Texas Rendezvous about 2 or 3 years, I want to say 2 years ago. I'm not sure what number it was, but it was about 2 years ago. And funny story, because we seen him and he was standing by himself, and New fits in with us just fine, right? And we seen him with a fingerboard and he had his pack on. And so we just went up to him. New just looks like another Mexican homeboy from home. And I'm sorry, you know, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? He was by himself. We went up to him, we said hi, we shook hands, and instantly we just got along. I remember I had some bushings in my pocket, and he was asking for some bushings. And I was like, here, man, I had a whole pack of them. I was like, here, just take them, try them out. And ever since then, it's like we just clicked. He supports what we do. We support what he does. It's hard not to get along with the guy. And then when you see what he's trying to do for the scene, it's awesome, because anyone who puts time into this hobby knows that you don't do it with getting anything in return, you know? And if you do, it's gonna be way down the line. So just to see someone else that's trying to do the same thing we're doing in another city in Texas, it's awesome.
It's actually pretty cool now that I mention it, that he kind of treated us very much like family when we came back. He even nicer, even more warm welcome. And like I said, he was kind of blowing up as far as Bread, you know, as far as blowing up goes, but he was definitely bigger. So the fact that he still welcomed us with open arms kind of meant a lot to me, and it really, that shows a lot of a person. I think he's really nice, kind-hearted guy for sure.
Melissa, and I'm New's girlfriend. I help him with all of the Bread women's clothes, just like with the colorways and giving him my opinion on like what's in style or what's more feminine and what's more girly. He's definitely really dedicated. He's always trying to come up with new ideas or really listens to his audience and what people want from him. Ever since I've been around, he's been super focused on fingerboarding, and he continues to get better every single day. I watch him do the same trick a million times until he gets it right, and I think it's really amazing how inspired he is by it. He does plan on having a lot of things coming up this year for sure, opening the new Bread store, and then having more fingerboard events, and then just incorporating his clothes with it. Before, I remember it used to be a lot of like manly clothes, and so when I was like, hey, like where's all the girl stuff, he was like, you know what, you can help me with that because I really don't know what I'm doing. And so that's why we're kind of expanding the colors and just trying to see the feedback that we're getting from people. I've never seen anybody work harder than he does. Everything that he receives, he gives back to the community, and I watch that as well, so I'm really proud of him.
New is, for the short time amount that we've known him, you can tell that he's about what he's doing. I think Bread has the potential to be something big in fingerboarding. Reason being, it's ran by New. Like I said, he's a real cool guy, easy to get along with. If it's about fingerboarding, he's about it. He's got LinkedIn really good with a lot of good names. I mean, I don't see a reason why Bread couldn't be, a pretty big name in the United States as far as fingerboarding.
I don't want to just do it for me. I want to help everybody else because everybody's helped me. I think that'd be really cool. I want to focus a little bit more on the people who are local for the people that actually come to the shop. So I won't do as much online stuff as I will in-person stuff. I have Tricky, I have Innocent, I have Chuby, and then like everybody rides for Bread because like if they're gonna be helping me, I want to help them or give back in some way. So like pretty much with anything I have, I feel like here in Texas is covered based on the friends that I have around.
Every time we're at the Bread House, we always have a good time. Or every time I'm hanging with him, we always have a good time. It's not really just one specific memory. It's just he's cool right off the bat. Always treated me like I was fam. When I first met him, he made it seem like we already knew each other, or like we were just old friends trying to catch up. That's exactly how I felt when I first met him, and it made me feel so comfortable because it's like I didn't have to get to know this. It felt like I didn't have to get to know this person. It's like I already knew him, and that's the vibe he gave off. And I guess another thing would be like his mind is probably like my mind. Like we both have companies, and we don't really do it for the exposure, or we don't do it for like the income or anything like that. We really do it for the community, more for the community than anything else. We're really for the people. It's really about the work that we put in rather than what we get out of it. That's what I really like about him. And he's just really cool. I see him blowing up real big in the future though, for sure. New is a one-of-a-kind person.
Because as a kid, I would always look up like Fingerboard Shops, Texas, or Fingerboard Shops, the United States of America. You know what I mean? Because it was just so... There was nowhere to go in person and buy fingerboard stuff. There were events. There were different rendezvous locations that happened once, twice a year. But you would never have something to physically go meet other people that are into this. That's why it was so secluded, especially in Texas, for a long time. But, Texas rendezvous have been around for... 9 years now, so it's growing in that light. But as far as the local community, New really brought the space and the attitude to make this happen. You don't walk into a normal clothing shop and see fingerboard parts scattered around and a little beautiful case with fingerboard parts that are for sale. It was really cool and an environment that I'd been wanting in this community for so long, and New made it possible. New provides exposure that you can't find on the internet. You know, there's one thing of seeing a fingerboard video. There's one thing of seeing a Chuby Muffin unboxing video or a Kelsey Fingerboards, you know, Texas Rendezvous event video. And then there's another thing to walk into a shop and to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about and can really give you a foot in the door to what this community is all about. He provides the entrance for people that have no idea what this is. And the amount of people I've seen him bring in, and not even young dudes, I'm talking like older dudes who used to skateboard in the 90s that are getting into it, it's crazy, and I love to see it. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really a party goer. I don't go to house parties that often. I don't go to, you know, those types of scenes. That's not really my crowd most of the time. But I got invited to a little party that New was hosting at the bread shop. I pulled up, probably 200, 250 people there, all having a good time, you know, whatever, hanging out, socializing. And in the midst of all of these people, there's just people fingerboarding. And it was so interesting to see that clash of cultures, to be so comfortable. Because, you know, deep down, everybody can get a little embarrassed about playing with fingerboards. It's just very deep-rooted. And a lot of us that started as kids, I got bullied as a kid for fingerboarding. I know some of y'all watching this might have been too. It's a little deep-rooted. The embarrassment's a little deep-rooted. So it was really cool to see just a non-judgmental zone of people who didn't even know what this was and could look at it and think it was so cool. To see how comfortable he is talking about fingerboarding, despite, you know, his career or his age or any of those outlying factors, to see how comfortable he is with it, especially in public. Like, I hate fingerboarding in public around people, and he's just out here, you know, he doesn't care. New, without a doubt, could tell you right off top that fingerboarding is a huge part of his life, you know. And I think that's something that I've withheld when I meet people, is telling them about it right off the bat. It's something I should be proud of, and he taught me that.
I just kind of want to be someone that's there to help people get established or start based off of what they see that I've already accomplished. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure anyone can do it. They just kind of got to put their head to it. And I did it because of an injury, and it was like, well, I hurt myself, and am I just gonna give up on what I love the most? And I didn't. I found another way to get the same excitement out of skateboarding, and it was just like with a fingerboard. And then it took me on a whole nother mission. And I'm just like, now we're just here, and we're like having a whole bunch of fun. And I'm like, I get to hang out, like I said, I get to hang out with my nephew, and then help other kids, and then help people make clothes and do customs. So it's like I'm doing all the stuff I want at once, and like I make bread. So it's like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Love you, New. Love you so much. Big Papa. You like that too?